Hi there, I'm Duncan Chapman, and you might have seen me on the previous video in the woods with Viv collecting sounds. Well, I've collected some things that make sounds from the woods, and I'm now back indoors, and I'm going to show you some of the things that you could do with them when you get them back to your classroom. So you can see here are a few things that I've collected from the trip to the woods, and some of the things that I collected in the woods before. So you can see I've got some sticks. These are two different ones. I quite like ones with branches on. And here are some fir cones. These ones I've collected a long time ago, but they still make some great sounds. Some conkers and some bits of tree. These were trees that were actually in my garden that I chopped down. So sound wise, the first thing I'm going to do, which is probably the most obvious thing you can do, is to take a pair of sticks and we can hit them together. So I've got my little recording machine that I'm going to use to record some of these sounds. Now you might not have a machine like I've got, but there are lots of different sorts. You could use a phone, you could use an iPad, or you might have some little handheld machines in school. I've put mine on a tripod because it'll hold it really still, so I won't get the noise of me handling it when I'm recording. So, couple of things about making recordings. The first thing that you really need to be careful about is making sure that it's really quiet. I'm lucky here, I'm in a shed at the bottom of my garden and it's very quiet. But if you're doing this in classroom, you might need to make sure that everyone else is really quiet while you're recording your sounds. The other thing is to get the sound close to the thing you're recording it on. So with my machine, the microphones are here at the end. So I'm going to take my sticks, and when I play them, I'm going to play them quite close to the microphones. So I get a very close-up sound. And the other thing that's really important is to start the recording before you start making the sound, and to leave a little gap. So I'm going to start my recording now, and then I'm going to make my sound. And then I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave a little gap afterwards. The next bit might seem a bit dull, but really important, is I'm going to make a list on this little card of the sounds I've recorded. So I'm going to go, number 1 was stick hit. So later on, when I want to find my sounds, I've got a list that I can refer to, so I know the order that they're in, so it'll make it easier to find them. So the next thing I think I'm going to explore is what does it sound like if I rub these sounds? There's a really nice bit of bark texture on this piece of wood I cut down. So maybe I'll try, and I'll get my machine really close. I'm going to start that going. I'm going to try rubbing this. With a stick, and maybe with my hand. Or maybe with one of these conkers. I quite like that sound. So I was wondering what I could do with these pine cones. I collected these many years ago and they've been inside my house, and you can see they've opened out almost completely. Actually they've opened out so much that one of the kernels has just fallen out. But I found that these, if I shake them, there are still some pine kernels inside. I get this very quiet shaker sound, both of them together. The other thing I can do with these is I can pluck these tongues. And get a really interesting sound from that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those sounds I've just recorded from the things I collected in the woods, and I'm going to stick them together in my computer. So I'm going to repeat some and play some in different orders. See if you can recognise which sound is which.